What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, I respond to a lot of the comments that was made. I can't get to everybody. I couldn't get to everybody, but y'all know I try to gradually get to everything and respond. And right now, I'm about to get into something that we talked about, and I want to further my point because I'm about to decapitate these frauds. And I want to show you all how people contradict themselves, how people lie, say one thing and forget what they said simply because the minions that they have kissing their ass for them make them feel like they can do whatever and it's all good. But when you spot nonsense and you call people out on it, what ends up happening is, of course, you get friction. Oh, but why are you saying that? How come y'all hating all this petty, interfering bull crap that Aries don't care nothing about? I want y'all to take a listen to this. Now, this was, you're going to hear Ellie say, seconds after the big press conference or whatever the hell, right? Between Wilder and Fury. Y'all remember how Wilder had nothing to say? Or his little opening statement bullshit? And he said what he said about it's going to be bloodshed. You know, all time for talking is done or whatever the hell he said. And yeah, you know, come get your tickets and all this and all this. Okay, hold. He had nothing to say. Spoke for a few seconds, literally, and sat down with headphones on. Now, hold up. This is a press conference, right? And you're just supposed to promote your fight. Now, he had nothing to say, but hold. Listen to this.
Baddest man on the planet, Deontay Wilder, seconds after a 6-minute face-off with Tyson Fury. Tell me about that. I've never seen a 6-minute face-off in my life, and you could have gone another 10 minutes.
Most definitely. You know, I just mean business. I didn't come here to play around. I didn't come here to lollygag around or nothing like that. Like, I'm strictly business when it comes to this fight. You know what I mean? And I'm just solely stuck on that. I'm gonna let they champion, meaning the people that support him, or you know, cause I don't think he, you know, like it's always been said, he don't have fans. He just everybody his fans just Deontay Wilder haters, and you know, it's all good. So
okay, hold up. Now, let's just point out something real childish. Anybody that's his fans is just Deontay Wilder haters. Can't anybody make that same claim? Can't anybody say, well, if you're a Deontay Wilder fan, you're an Anthony Joshua hater? Huh? If you're a Jamal Charlo fan, you're a Canelo Alvarez hater or Demetrius Andre hater. Can't anybody make that same claim? So basically, he sets the narrative for his minions. Like he said, I'm going to let they champion. You already said they champion. Because, see, he's the king and champion to his own minions that follow him. So when he's saying that, whatever narrative he set, that's what they're going to go back and repeat. Simple as that. Simply because you're a Tyson Fury fan, that means you're automatically a Deontay Wilder hater. I've heard many people say, I like both guys. Whether they like, even if they like Fury better, or vice versa, whatever. But this dude sets the narrative. Whatever I say the narrative is, that's what it is. Y'all go out and repeat that for me. And this is what they do. Because basically, you can't be a fan of anybody else and like Deontay Wilder at the same time if they're heavyweight. Bullshit, though.
I'm gonna let him be the circus and let him promote it and do it. Let's see, can he hold that end of the bargain, because I don't think he can. He looked for me to entertain, and then he's like my co-captain. He's like my partner in crime. I'm Batman, he Robin type stuff. But now I'm gonna let him do his thing and see how entertaining he would be, because it's the same old.
During the face-off, did he say anything? Did you say anything? Did you see?
Didn't we just roast Tyson Fury for doing this whole, him and his team sitting back saying they're going to let AJ listen to the bullshit? And I called Fury out for that, right? We're going to let them, Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, get it together and see what they can come up with. And we were saying, so basically, this is the Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua show. And you and your team are going to sit back and then eat off of their hard work. Didn't we just have the same situation with Fury and AJ? Now listen at what he just said. I'm going to let him carry that and entertain it. I don't think he can hold that end of the bargain. I'm going to let him do it. Oh, I got some more to say. I got so much to say. But you heard what he just said. So this is your press conference. You're part of this fight, and you choose to be silent. Okay, let's go on.
Hey, I couldn't hear that. I didn't want to hear that. You know, it ain't that for me to hear. You know, I already got what I'm gonna do. I'm stuck in my head, and I'm looking forward to it. That's why I'm probably finna get a private jet and go and get back to the house, because it ain't nothing but train is on our mind. That's it.
I've been watching you and Malik. You're looking different. To me, I've known you many years. The head movement, the move, the jab, the footwork. You're looking like a 147 pounder. You're not looking like a heavyweight, and you're still hitting hard.
Yeah, man, we've been working hard. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of things a lot of attributes that I've already had. You know what I mean? In the bag. It's just, you know, as you go so long, defending, and now
I gotta stop. This dude said this is attributes he already had in the bag for so long. Bro, your fans have been crying and making excuses for you for the longest. But Wilder didn't have a long, amateur career. You gotta understand, Wilder ain't been, he turned pro quick, and there's a lot of things he gotta learn, So basically, he had it all this time. He just never showed it at all. He had no reason to show it. So when he's going straight back in the line with no fucking head movement, no fucking foot movement, just stand there and go straight back like a damn zombie, he did that because he just didn't want to let it out the bag. He had it, but he just didn't use it for whatever reason. This is something he always had, yet we've never seen not even a glimpse of it. Okay. So, he said he always had this, right? He's feeling confident in his position right now. Okay, let's just go ahead.
Guys out, you do get comfortable with that. And to the point where motherfuckers do gotta cheat you just to beat you. And now this is a point of time like, all right, since y'all wanna play dirty, I'm the only fighter I know that be lifting up these heavyweights, getting them opportunities. Putting money in their pocket, getting, breaking bread with them that they can support and feed their families, and not running away from the tough fights. And then they have the audacity to talk about I want to get they try to get money from lower oppositions. He's too risky of a fighter. It don't pay. What they call
high risk, low reward.
Low rewards.
But let me just
hold up. First off, what he said made absolutely no fucking sense. He said he's the only fighter. Listen to what he just said. He's the only fighter. This is his motherfucking words. Because I know all you little bitch-ass minions going, oh, man, but why you... No, fuck y'all and fuck him. He just sat here and said he's the only fighter that he knows that's taking these fighters and giving them opportunities and fighting the best opposition. All you fucking fought was Tyson Fury. And I'm sick and tired of hearing old-ass Luis Ortiz fucking name coming up, who's never accomplished shit as a heavyweight, never did nothing, never won no titles, was nothing but a fucking contender, who was on fucking heart medicine. Who you giving opportunities to? Dude has nobody on his resume outside of Tyson Fury. Okay? That's all he has. So I'm going to say Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz, Bermane Stiverne, only because he got the title from him. Not because Bermane Stiverne is a good fighter, because he's half-ass decent. Okay? What opportunities? Then he said they got the audacity to say that they want to fight lower opposition because it's When they talk about high risk and low reward. Who the fuck says that? I've heard other trainers and different people say after he got his ass whooped by Fury, I've heard them say certain guys are not going to fight Wilder. Guys like Joseph Parker and, Ruiz may not fight him because, it's high risk and low reward, because Wilder still can punch. So they'll probably take, a different route. I've heard other people say that shit, but let's be fucking real, man. Dillian White's been calling him out for the longest. He didn't respond. He did respond. He said, I'll freeze you out for 2 years. So what the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? What he just said made no fucking sense. None whatsoever. Who the fuck is ducking him? Tell me who's ducking Deontay Wilder. Let's go.
That you did, which was amazing. You fought him the first time. I know you won the fight. You dropped him twice. But you were still kind enough to give him a rematch, but you didn't have to. You could have gone any direction. You could have gone Andy Ruiz at the time. You could have gone anything. And then when it came to the third fight, he already was counting on his fight with Joshua. He announced it himself like 3 days before the arbitration. At what point did you know you're going to win the court case?
I mean, I'm very confident.
All right, he about to put his foot in his mouth too. And I'm going to let him get to that. Let me say this, okay? Isn't that some coward shit? Isn't that some sucker shit when somebody say, you didn't have to fight him, you could have fought somebody else? Well, I wish he would have fought somebody else instead of fighting Luis over the hill Ortiz twice, if that's the case. Why would he say that when they agreed before the first fight? Before they even had the first fight, they had already agreed to 3 fights. So what the fuck is Ellie talking about? See, man, when y'all ride nutsacks, y'all don't even realize how stupid you sound. They had a 3-fight planned. Okay, 3-fight deal planned. So to say I didn't have to, or you didn't have to do that, and he said that before. I didn't have to fight him. Well, okay, if that's the case, you could say Bermain Stavern didn't have to fight you then. Somebody always have to fight somebody to keep what they have. But maybe because the only 2 mandatories he had was Bermain Stavern and Dominic Brazil, of all people, maybe he don't know anything about that. So when he sat here and say, when Ellie tells, he's sitting in, he's nut hugging right now. You didn't have to do that. What you did was so amazing. How did that? So this is the first time people fought twice. Motherfucker Ray Robinson, how many times did him and Rocky Graziano fight? 5 times or some shit like that? I mean, the Randy Lent fought 3 times. I mean, there's several people. No, see, he couldn't have fought Andy Ruiz. He couldn't have fought Dillian White. He couldn't have fought Anthony Joshua or anybody else. You know why? Because you got to want to fight them motherfuckers. That's why. And obviously, he didn't want to fight them. So he already had this in the bag. And at that time, him and Fury thought they were going to hurt AJ. And they were going to keep AJ out the mix. Oh, I remember it all. So, because Ellie's sitting here nut hugging right now. You guys who sit here and applaud and agree with all of this shit, y'all know better. Watch how he is getting ready to put his foot in his mouth. And I'm going to decapitate you motherfuckers as soon as he do.
And my legal team are very confident in the...
They shocked the world, by the way. Nobody expected it.
They did, because it was 4 white men against 1 black man. Come on, man. But I was very confident in my team that I had. I was very confident in the evidence that we had. And, everything...
Notice Ellie didn't respond when he said it was 4 white men against 1 black man. Come on. Now listen what he just said. He said he was confident in his legal team and confident in the evidence he had. Watch how he contradict himself.
All the above, so even just being up there in person to feel the energy, to feel the atmosphere with the judge and everybody that deal with the court system, I felt very confident. What I'm feeling and stuff. Because right is right at the end of the day, and I understand sometimes in the court system, you can have all the facts and the proof. I mean, look at me in Povetkin. I had the facts and the proof, and the judge ruled it in my favor. But weeks later or a month later, then we got a whole new judge, which I don't know how, and then he ruled it another way. But I know I know.
He just said, all right? He just said he had all the facts and the proof, and it went his way. And then he turned around and said, out of nowhere, they get another judge and it ruled another way. You guys probably don't remember the details. For those who do, I don't need to go into it, but you all know what happened between him and Povetkin, right? Okay, well, at the same time, too, when you guys turn around and also him talking about not wanting to fight cheats, do I have to remind you again? Okay? Because he's talking about that situation with Povetkin when it was dirty. He fought Luis Ortiz twice after he claimed he would never fight Ortiz because Ortiz is a cheater. Now, he just said he had all the proofs and facts. Listen at this. Let me rewind a little bit. This dude just say shit that makes no sense, man. He just makes no sense. Pause.
Guys out, you do get comfortable with that. And to the point where motherfuckers do gotta cheat you just to beat you. And now this is a point of time like, all right, since y'all want to play dirty, I'm the only fighter I know that be lifting up these heavyweights, getting them opportunities, putting money in their pocket, getting, breaking bread with them that they can support and feed their families and not running away from the tough fights. And then they have the audacity to talk about talk about I want to get they try to get money from lower oppositions. He's too risky of a fighter. It don't pay. Low what they call
high risk, low reward.
Low rewards.
But let me tell you something that you did, which was amazing. You fought him the first time. I know you won the fight. You dropped him twice.
High risk, low rewards mean they had nothing to gain by beating this guy.
You could have gone any direction. You could have gone Andy Ruiz at the time. You could have gone anything. And then when it came to the third fight, he already was counting on his fight with Joshua. He announced it himself like 3 days before the arbitration. At what point did you know?
I took it back a little bit further.
I mean, I was very confident in my legal team. I'm very confident in the.
They shocked the world, by the way. Nobody expected it.
They didn't, because it was four white men against one black man. Come on, man. But I was very confident in my team that I had. I was very confident in the evidence that we had, and everything, all the above. So even just being up there in person to feel the energy, to feel the atmosphere with the judge and everybody that deal with the court system, I felt very confident. What I'm feeling and stuff. Because right is right at the end of the day, and I understand. Sometimes in the court system, you can have all the facts and the proof. I mean, look at me and Povetkin. I had the facts and the proof, and the judge ruled it in my favor. But weeks later or a month later, then we got a whole new judge, which I don't know how, and then he ruled it another way. But I know what went down in that. But just know, I know what happened in that situation. But at the end of the day, we have no proof. So if you have no proof, they don't need to come out and like, hey, you did. I know.
Did he or did he not just fucking contradict himself? This man just sat here and said he was confident in his legal team. He was confident in all the proof and the facts that he had. They won the case. Then he turns around and he says, out of nowhere, a month later, they get another judge that re-ruled it. He don't know how that happened. I guess your legal team didn't see that coming, but you had confidence in him, right? Now, he just sat here and said, what? I know what happened, but at the end of the day, I didn't have no proof. Let me tell you what this guy just did. He made an example with the Povetkin case, okay? Now he's talking about Tyson Fury's situation. With Povetkin, him talking about he had proof. Documentation beats conversation. Proof is, again, I have a white and blue bottle right here full of water. If I open it, I can show you all the water will flop out, okay? I can prove that. I can tell you something's in here and it doesn't have to be water. I can tell you this is only water. It could be mixed with something, okay? And I got to do this for the lames out there. For me to convince you what's in this bottle, okay? It can be proven, or you can just take my word for it. Saying I have proof and giving nothing but opinions, that right there is not proof. I don't care how strongly you believe in what you're saying. He just sat here and said, I mean, at the end of the day, I ain't had a proof, and without the proof, then no. The Povetkin situation wasn't about him having proof. Okay? Povetkin had proof. That's why that shit was overturned. You understand what I'm saying? So he basically started out talking about Povetkin. You heard me. I know what happened in it. You heard what he said. I know what he's talking about. What happened in the fight? He's talking about what happened with him and Fury. I know what happened. At the end of the day, I didn't have proof. Okay, let me just say something to the jackasses though, right? You see what's so crazy about you guys? When I or anybody else that smell bullshit say, what proof are you talking about? The only thing you guys keep alluding to is a floppy glove, and that had nothing to do with the second fight. The claim of an egg weight, a dent in his head that's for some reason no longer there, but was put there by a punch, but it's for some reason it's no longer there. When this guy said he had proof, when Drew Titan sat there and said he had proof, we said, what proof? If he has proof, right, and he's going to present this proof, what he should be doing is presenting this to a judge. Did I not say that? What Wilder should be focusing on is suing this motherfucker for attempted murder. If what he's saying is true. If he had proof, you don't say, I think or I believe. No, here's my proof. Here's my proof. If somebody gave me this bottle and I said, well, I think it's water, not well, I strongly believe it's water, only water. I don't know that. I could be right, but I'm not proving that to you. But it can be proven because this water can be tested, okay? So when he's saying, but without proof, you can't, why is it when we say it, we're hating on this guy, which I don't care how you feel, but he just sat here and put his foot in his own mouth, okay? He said he had proof about Povetkin, but then he turns around and says, without proof, you can't, but I didn't have proof. After I know what happened. He's talking about Fury. See, you guys probably didn't catch that switch. I know what happened in it. He's not talking in the courtroom. He's not talking behind closed doors. No, he's talking about in the ring. I know what happened in there, but without proof. So this is what he's saying. He couldn't prove. When we said what you guys are talking about is not proof. If he went to court with that bullshit, they'll laugh his ass up out of court. That's why they having a third fight. But I thought, remember all the people that came in the comment section talking about how Fury's going to prison, Fury's going to jail. Drew Titan said we gonna beat him in his third fight and get this dirty motherfucker out the sport. We gonna come with all that proof. Remember all that shit he said? And I said, well, if he had proof, why would he be telling Drew Titan to talk for him? And if he had proof and it's something he couldn't talk about, that means Drew couldn't talk about it. That means nobody else is talking about it. Let the court handle it. They didn't go to court for that. They didn't go to court. It was arbitration. It was a mediation. It had nothing to do with a lawsuit because you attempted to murder me. Let's proceed.
What happened?
You win there. You've had 43 pro fights. You have 30 amateur fights. You're a medalist in the Olympics. You sparred everybody on the planet. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's a shame that boxing is what it is. You know what I mean? But, we eat, breathe, and sleep, and we love it at the same time. You just gotta keep refreshing. Keep refreshing your the way you feel about certain things, your intuition, about the people that you have around you. Because like I said in the beginning, you can have people that's wolves in sheep clothing. And they could be with you for 10, 12 years, and have that evenness and hatred in their heart.
Now you know he's talking about Mark Breland.
But still on your team like a cheerleader. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Enjoying the good life.
Enjoying it. Until you catch a couple of photos and pictures that you didn't even see before. But after shit hit the fan.
Now, if he saw photos, he said photos and pictures. Photos are pictures. But if he had photos, why in the fuck, instead of him giving his opinion, wouldn't he be able to show proof? Why wouldn't he say, nah, it's not about what I'm saying, it's what I'm showing you? To this very day, he hasn't shown shit. Just talking. Just talking. I'm gonna let him speak. I'm gonna sum this shit up because I don't want to hear this whole video.
Stuff start to unfold. You start going back and looking at it like, damn, this shit was in our eyes all this time. All this time. You know what I mean? Like, all my guys around, like, they like family. And I'm super happy for them. Anything that they do or they accomplish, man, I'm ultimately happy.
And this video was being edited.
Like,
You guys can't see that, but Ellie's edited. He edited the video. It's skipping from different parts.
To find people like that, you know, to be super happy for you, especially if they do better than you. You know, because I have a beautiful family. You know what I mean? I have love all around me every day. Hey.
Malik brings a lot of that. His energy level is always like 10 Red Bulls, and he doesn't even drink Red Bull. He just emanates good energy.
I mean, it's the first time me and Malik met. We connected. We clicked. Like I.
All right, let me stop it there. This shit is turning to couples therapy. I don't give a fuck about all that. All the nut hugging that's going on. Let me sum this shit up and say this. See, whenever Deontay Wilder decides to open his mouth and talk about a bunch of nothing, his minions cheer him on and they jump around and they want to repeat what he said like he just said a mouthful. And he just basically said a bundle of nothing. So here's what happens, okay? And understand, I'm simply addressing the shit that was said and done, and how it's being sugarcoated right now, and they're trying to repaint this picture of what was already painted, okay? First off, let me say this. For him to sit at a fucking press conference with headphones and shades on, refuse to speak. Remember when the chick was touching his arm, asking him, and he's sitting there, you know, and there was a time when he wasn't bopping his head enough. He was just sitting there. Oh, that motherfucker was listening. Oh, he was listening. Believe me, he was listening. He is at a press conference. This is a fight he's supposed to be a part of. He had nothing to say. Fury comes out there, runs on his side. He's throwing punches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Deontay's just sitting there with his, you know, like a kid at detention with his hands folded, just sitting there, you know, looking at his phone, doing little shit that kids do. If you study people's body language and what they do, shit that they do, he's trying to get comfortable. He's trying to keep himself, to put himself in a comfortable spot. And he knows Fury can trigger that shit and make him uncomfortable and make him look stupid. He knows that shit. Okay? My thing is, this guy seems to have a lot to fucking say when he's being interviewed by somebody else, when he's sitting up there being interviewed, and when he's talking about everything other than the actual third fight. All he's talking about is the past and what happened and what happened. And you mean to tell me you get face to face with the guy who you claim tried to take your life, and you got nothing to say? And because your little punk ass minions sit back and go, oh man, that's big man talk right there. You know, he ain't got to say nothing. He's going to let his action. When we've been saying in the past, he need to shut the fuck up and let his actions speak louder than his fucking words. Oh no, man, well he's saying this and he's, no. No matter what he says or do, people say, no matter what Wilder say, we're not going to like what he say anyway. Not when he say dumb shit like what he's saying. See, understand, it's not about me so much liking what he say or not liking what he say. The fact is, he makes no fucking sense, okay? It's like going into a Chinese store saying, let me get a Big Mac. And matter of fact, give me a Big Mac and a Whopper. Knowing damn fucking well they don't sell that shit in Chinese restaurants, right? That would be fucking stupid, wouldn't it? He says shit and completely contradicts himself. But people don't get it. So because you sit back and think we're haters, which I really don't care, it's the simple fact that you guys have to be completely fucking dumb to hear the words come out of his mouth but still act like he meant something different from what he actually said. So somebody in my comment section, one of the family, You know, and shout out to you, whoever you are, you know who you are. I don't remember who said it, but somebody made a comment in response saying he reminds me of a guy, you know, who had a lot to say behind my back, but then face to face he had nothing to say. Oh, I've had many of those people. Oh, a lot of tough talk, and then face to face is a whole different vibe when you approach him, right? You mean to tell me that man did all this shit to you? Now, all this shit he said was after the press conference. You sat there face to face and wouldn't even fucking look at Fury. Wouldn't say nothing. But yet, when you're not in front of him. So it shows you Fury makes you uncomfortable. And that can only mean, as far as I'm concerned, you have no proof of nothing you said. You made up a bunch of fucking excuses, and subconsciously you know. You just got your ass whooped. So you feel real tough and say all this shit when you're being interviewed. But in front of him, none of this shit didn't come up. Y'all don't think that that's strange that a man won't say, you cheated. You straight up cheated. Fury said he had questions for Wilder. That Wilder, he expected him to answer some questions, right? And then Fury also said when he was interviewed by Radio Raheem that Wilder did probably what was the best thing for him, because people would have been asking him questions that he would have had to answer that he wouldn't have had an answer for. And see, that goes to show weakness. But see, fucking cowards wouldn't understand that. Cowards wouldn't understand that. You know, I used to work with a guy. I used to pretend he was on his phone. I can remember the guy. Yeah, man. Yo, what time? So wait, tonight, nigga? Oh, shit. What? And all of a sudden, I remember one time he did this shit. He was on a, not a cell phone. It was on an office phone. And I could clearly hear, I could hear the fucking dial tone. I'm sitting there like, what is wrong with this guy, man? Like, yo, oh, shit, yeah, for real? Oh, man. And all of a sudden, I could hear, if you like to make a... And I'm like, yo, what is wrong? I'm sitting there like, something's wrong with this motherfucker. He seemed to be normal on the outside. But sitting there, and the phone starts going, and I'm looking at him, and he goes, oh, he realized, like, oh, shit. He didn't realize everything else I could hear from the speaker of the phone, but this is out loud now. So, oh, shit, we must got the guy disconnected. It takes several minutes for you to get to that point where the phone starts making that noise. And you know what type of worker he was? Y'all gonna see where I'm going with this. He was always that employee complaining and bitching about management. And I would say, why don't you say this? Why don't we have a meeting? And in the meeting, we address the situations that's going on. You say what you want to say. You know I'm gonna speak. Yeah, man. Yeah. As soon as we get to the meeting. Anybody have any concerns? Who want to start the meeting? Or anybody want to say anything? I'm good. What you mean you good, man? We're here because of you. What you mean you're good? Anytime we're not in front of management is every kind of motherfucker in the book. As soon as we get in front of management, he's the one doing all the fucking talking and complaining, but he has nothing to say. So yet, we're talking, and then after the meeting, yeah, man, now just shut the fuck up. Don't say shut up. Because you had every opportunity to speak when you were there face to face. That's weakness. That's cowardism. So because he's, blood was shed and all, like Fury said to him, Fury basically said, I've heard all that before about bloodshed. We know what happened last time. He talked about Wilder making up excuses about what happened. And everything Fury said. And he said he'll knock him out faster this time. Whether it happens or not, whatever, I really don't even care. But basically, he's saying Wilder's not going to change. He punked Wilder and he punked Malik Scott. He told Malik Scott to his fucking face, how are you going to teach him and expect him to do something that you couldn't do? Then he made fun of them because he bust both of their eardrums. Bust Malik's in sparring and then bust tight on Wilder's. And Malik Scott goes, that ain't nothing to brag about. I mean, you bust my eardrum in sparring. I mean, first of all, Malik Scott wasn't shit as a fighter. I don't care how many people try to sit there and suck his ass now because he's Wilder's trainer all of a sudden. Malik Scott wasn't shit as a fighter. Plain and simple. And what I've been saying, and Malik Scott said, when the lady asked him, Why do you think Wilder doesn't want to answer any questions? He said, because he's stubborn as hell. Didn't Mark Breland say the same thing? Oh, so I guess Malik Scott's a hater too then, right? He said he's stubborn as hell. Now he says he listened to all as far as the training. He's giving me what I need as far as the training, but like as far as the other stuff, I don't care as long as he give me what I want. See, to eat ass, you got to put your tongue in it. Let that sink in. And this guy sat here. He sat here at his press conference, spoke for a few seconds in the beginning, sat down, and he's sitting there all unprofessional. You're a grown-ass 35-year-old man sitting there playing with your phone. Yeah, and after a while, when he started talking, you notice how he was just sitting there still. No. He's a nervous dude. His confidence is not there. He's scared. And all that shit he's saying, he's going to have to back it up. So all this talking that he claimed he's not going to do, what I'm saying is this, right? If you didn't say it at the press conference, you shouldn't be saying this shit that Ellie said back. You should basically be like, nah, Ellie, I got to decline this interview. I don't want to talk. It's all business. Ain't no talking. How the fuck do you come to your press conference and not talk? That's where you should have been talking. Face to face, say what you going to say to this dude. It ain't about an argument. It ain't about getting loud, talking all crazy. That's not even what it's about. If it leads to that, so be it. It's the fight game, right? And that's what you motherfuckers like, right? But at the end of the day, you're sitting there and you can't look him in the face. You made no eye contact with him until y'all got that little weak ass, punk ass face off that y'all had. And then they got people in the camp arguing back and forth. Fury looking at him smiling as if, I'm gonna fuck you up, man. He's like he's not even taking him serious. And Wilder then just turn around and walk away. He's not going to promote a fight that he's in. And then you got the idiots talking about the fight is already sold. All he got to do is show up and do that work. I'm telling you, he's going to do this. You ain't telling me shit. And I don't give a fuck if Fury win. I don't give a shit if Wilder win. I don't care. But because I bring the boxing news, you stupid morons, this is why I'm even talking about it. But I needed to bring this to people's attention because you see, you got too many jackasses that walk around out here quoting everything somebody say, repeating what somebody say, pumping their fists for it. But then, when they get caught, they hand in the fucking cookie jar. You want to make excuses for everything that they say and do. I don't care for Fury as a fighter, and I don't care for Wilder as a fighter. Fury is a much better fighter than Wilder is. But I don't really give a shit about neither one of them as fighters. As human beings, how they live their life and what they do is their business. I don't care about all that. But for you to sit here, okay, and say things like, I had all the evidence and proof. So that means you had something substantial that you could give to a judge and say, look, here, okay. How do you give a judge a fucking egg weight? You trying to explain about a floppy glove is supposed to say what? Huh? Your ear got bust open because you got punched in it. You talk about spike water, all this other shit. So when you sit here now and say, well, you know, I ain't had no proof. Ain't that what the fuck we all been saying since last year? That shit that he's calling proof is not proof. It came out of his mouth. And of course, the minions will say, no, he didn't mean it that way. Right? Remember, because he also never ever said that his costume wore his legs down. Remember that? Or would you like to prove that? Would you like to kiss my ass? And when I put that shit up after that video, that interview, that phone call, conversation, whatever that interview resurfaced, oh, it's so funny how y'all all went into hiding after that. Oh shit, Wilder really did say that. But again, once you sweep something under the rug, they try to act like it never happened. Wilder is in a position right now where he truly needs to understand if he loses this fucking fight, it's a wrap for his ass. And he also needs to understand, I know what Fury's talking about when he's talking about once you lose that aura of invincibility. Because people, a lot of times what happens is it takes somebody else to beat your ass, especially someone that people don't think can beat you. And then they go, damn, I remember this guy used to bully this motherfucker every day. The motherfucker finally got heart and fought him back. And when he whooped that bully's ass, he said, man, I should have did this shit a long time ago. Yeah, motherfucker been kicking your ass for the past 3 years and finally you couldn't take it no more. Could have did it a long time ago. People, pay attention to all of this bullshit that flies around that people try to overlook on purpose. When somebody talk, you don't need to focus on the whole fucking interview unless there's just points to make about everything. And I'm not trying to be petty here. I'm just making it clear what came out of his mouth and then what came out of his mouth again. That was a complete direct contradiction. And I'm also making it known, when you put yourself in a position, okay, and you start telling people that this happened, that happened, and the only reason I lost because of this and you sit here and say you had the proof and you make all these excuses, all the pressure is on you now. And the closer it gets to that fight, I don't care how much training he's doing, Fury's training too. He is the one that has to go in there with this mentality thinking of what I have to do to this guy. I'm going to execute the game plan. Fury said as soon as he punch him in his fucking face, he's going to resort back to what he always know, what he already been doing. Let me tell y'all something. I believe that. Because Wilder has his minions going crazy because this motherfucker finally slipping little shit that he knows is coming at him. And listen, it's different when you fight somebody who knows how to fight. That little bit of shit you seen, y'all, you know, what I see about people, y'all seem like y'all cream y'all pants over watching somebody hit mitts and hit a fucking, you know, throw punches in the air when nobody's fucking throwing punches back at them. And y'all think that, oh, I see a vast improvement. Malik Scott said he's stubborn as hell. Mark Breland said the same fucking thing. If he lose this fight, I guess Mark Breland, I guess Malik Scott will be in an unemployment line with Mark Breland. I guess Malik Scott would be a hater. It'll be his fault too. You spiked my water this time. It'll be something, but somehow JD's ass will still have a job. It's 4 white men against 1 black man. Come on. But you fired the black man and kept the white man that sat there and watched the gloves get wrapped. And my whole thing about all that is, no matter what you say, no matter how many times you try to convince people that you were robbed and you were cheated, you never said nothing about the first fight results, anything going on, a floppy glove or nothing, until after you got your ass whooped in the rematch. And if you get your ass whooped in this third fight, you're going to be the laughing stock of boxing. You're making a fool out yourself. You're making a complete fool out yourself. I can remember watching kids, certain rappers get interviewed, and they sitting there shaking their legs, and you know, the interviewers asking questions and acting like they don't really want to be there. And of course, the common thought is, well, why the fuck are you here? Why'd you show up for the fucking interview if you don't want to do it? This is your press conference. And for you to sit here and say you're going to let him do all the talking and he's going to do all this circus shit, opening your mouth to speak when you talk, I'm pretty sure you know. I believe that part about what Fury said about he knows people are going to ask him questions that he's not going to have answers for. I believe that. And I also feel like when he starts talking and Fury starts jumping in, intervening, and going back and forth, he's going to make him lose character. He's going to break character. It's going to fuck with his confidence. It's going to fuck with his confidence. Malik Scott sitting there talking for this man like he's his bitch. Javon Sugar Hill ain't had to say nothing for Tyson Fury. He's sitting over there chilling. Malik Scott sitting there fighting his battles for him. He don't need to say nothing. Well, why the fuck did he even show up then? If he wasn't going to say nothing, you know what he should have did? He should have sent Malik Scott out there. He should have even came out. And he should have told Malik Scott to say some shit like, tell that motherfucker, do a good job at this press conference, because I'm somewhere training right now, because I'm going to whoop his ass come fight night. Why? Tell him something like that and don't even waste our time, because, well, not my time, because I didn't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, why even come out there? Headphones on and shit, dark ass shades on, sitting there and shit, acting like you can't hear. And this man comes out here dancing around, throwing punches and shit, talking about how he bust your eardrum. He's gonna run you over like a fucking 18-wheeler running over a human being, and you don't have nothing to say. But after the press conference, you go talk to Ellie and say all the shit that you're saying right now. And people can't see that that's cowardism, that his confidence is not there. He's not feeling the way you guys want him to feel. Y'all shook by all that. I don't really give a shit who win. Honestly, I don't care who win between these two. I don't even care. He talked about he fight the best fighters out there. He give these guys opportunities to feed their families and fighting the best What? Yo, bro, come on, man. I gotta go ahead and get my workout in, man. I don't want to go in there like you know. I'm laughing at this dumb shit. I'm laughing at this shit. And I want you guys to also understand something too, okay? If Deontay Wilder, if that fight would have went exactly the way it went, but let's say that motherfucker would have knocked Fury out, he would have been saying shit like, I'm a true warrior. You know, it's a battle. We the two best heavyweights. You know, he got his licks in, I got my licks in. And then, you know, the point is, I got the W. That's what's important. And you know what he'd be doing right now? He wouldn't be sitting there with headphones on. He wouldn't be sitting there with no fucking shades on, acting like he can't hear. What he'd be doing is running his mouth like he always do. So I don't care if he feels like, oh, it's I'm all business right now, and yeah, this is all about war, and we going this and blood going shit on. Okay, cool. Again, like I said, I really don't even care who win, and whatever happens, happens. But he's gonna like a complete fucking fool if he gets beat again. In all honesty, all this shit he hasn't been doing in fights, I tell people this all the time. A fighter has to be comfortable doing the shit in the ring that they do in training. It's not the same shit. Just like you motherfuckers love to say, oh, sparring is not the same thing as the actual fight. Same fucking thing. Sparring, I tell you what, it's more impressive for a motherfucker to do that shit in sparring than just see a motherfucker hitting mitts. And y'all walking around up here like, oh shit, did you see that? He slipped his head to the right. Whoop the fucking do. It's a different mentality in people nowadays. It happens. Time goes on, we all change. Things change. The way things sound, the way music sound, the way people talk, you know, everything change, okay? But what you guys are not understanding about these changes, it's different when something change because it's just pretty much just, it's life, it's nature, it's just, this is just the way things is. Versus someone being changed because of a situation. See, because when you win all the time, you got anybody who got kids, okay? When your kids are playing games and they're winning, they're jumping up and down and yeah, I beat you again, right? Bragging, and it's funny, right? But when they start losing, they suck at their teeth, they mad, they complaining. Why? Because they used to winning all the time. They can't handle defeat, right? You try to get that out of them because as they grow, you don't want their competitive nature to become bitter, and they become cheaters or liars, or they just become bad sportsmen because they can't accept the fact that somebody beat them at something, right? What you think those behaviors are? Like George Foreman said, when he lost to Ali, he made every excuse. He thought people was trying to poison him, and all this shit, he made every excuse in the book because there's no way Ali could beat me. You're seeing the same thing in Wilder. And that man sat here and said, I had no proof, so, you know, accusations, okay? Accusations is not proof. And like I said, if Fury had did that shit, yeah, he should be locked up for that. And you guys said Fury was going to jail. Dante's Boxing Nation, Boxing Ego, Blue Blood, every one of them motherfuckers start stamping that shit. He's going to jail. Yo, he's about to go to prison. Yo, and all y'all tuning in, crossing y'all fingers, hoping it was true. Because for a while, y'all didn't want that third fight. And y'all was sitting there talking about, oh man, why would you want, like, I wouldn't want to, I heard a lot of people say, I wouldn't want to fight somebody that cheated, fought me dirty. No, I would. Because that means if you fought me dirty, then I know you cheated, right? Now, I think you cheated. My ego's so inflated, there's no way I can lose. He had to cheat. No. Because I can't make accusations about something without having an investigation right then and there. You guys, again, okay? Doesn't it make more sense that you feel, pop, oh shit, something different. Something ain't right. Ref, check his gloves. Something is in that man's gloves. Can you imagine the look on his face, even if he didn't do it in the middle of the fight? Let's say at the end of the fight, when those gloves are coming off and his egg weight falls to the floor, or it's in his something. Listen. The excuse about Deontay having an unexperienced team, common sense, okay? You don't have to have a lot of experience to have common fucking sense. And you will not applaud somebody who cheated you. And like I said before, at the end of this fight, fuck sportsmanship. These motherfuckers need to just go their separate ways. Man, if I think you did something dirty to me, you think you gonna come and hug me? We ain't gonna shake hands or nothing. I'm gonna bust your ass at the end of that fucking fight. You come over there trying to shake my hand, I'm going to end up picking you up over my head and throwing your ass. I'm going to dump you right on your motherfucking head. It's simple. There's no way that I can have bad blood with somebody and then get face to face with them and all of a sudden I got nothing to say. That's some punk shit. And y'all can sit here and applaud it all you want. And you can sit here and make all the excuses you want. But you heard everything that he just said, right? And he just said, out of his own fucking mouth, he had no proof. Yeah. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video. And I just decapitated you motherfuckers. Now go get your autopsy done like Wilder did. Okay? So y'all can jump back on and talk some more shit like y'all always love to do about nothing. For those who get it and understand what's real, y'all already know what time it is. Because when they come to that jackass shit, I ain't on that type of time. So all of you motherfuckers, feel this shit.